Hi everyone, it's Shilpa here with another quick project share, and this time, as you can see, I have made a traveler's notebook and I am just so thrilled to bits with how it's come out. I have made traveler's notebooks in the past, just a few basic ones, and I followed Bonus Tutorial, who is Live Love Scrap here on YouTube, and those were just made from paper and card, and they were just really basic, almost like planners that I've used. But this, I decided to go for more of like a fabric approach to the whole of the traveler's notebook, and I've used antique and vintage laces on this, and it's just come out so beautiful. I love it. It is an A6 traveler's notebook. And before I show you exactly what I've done, I just want to quickly show you how I constructed the base for this. So I'm just going to put this aside for a sec and I'll just show you what I've done. So to get the base of the A6 notebook, this is basically the kind of template that I've used, and all it is a card with measurements as 6 inches and 6 inches on the width, and the length of that piece of card is going to be 9 inches. And then you've got 3 score lines here, so you're going to score at 4, then 4.5, and then 5, and that's going to give you the 3 little spine sections on that. So from that I put on, I'll show you when I open this up, you'll understand a bit more. I've got this really thin felt, so on top of that, so I did use a piece of card for the structure of this, otherwise it'd be too floppy. So I've used that on top like so, and then I've also used a piece of fabric, so you can use whatever fabric you like, and then you can still kind of see where the score line is because you are gonna crease it. And then from that I've pierced 3 holes, so 1, 2, 3, and then I've done the same at the bottom, and I've strung 3 pieces of elastic and I've tied it on the back, and then I've sewn this bit, and then I've turned it around, and now the elastic will be showing here, and then I've put another piece of fabric there and I've sewn it by hand, and then all this is covered, so you don't get to see any elastic on the back whatsoever. So that is basically what I've done. And for the inserts or the notebooks, I've just used this size, and I've had these for a while, and I believe these were an online purchase and I got them from China, so you can check eBay for these. And this notebook measures 5.5 by 3.5, so it's perfect size to just sit inside an A6 traveler's notebook. And it is really nice because it is stitched on the edge, and the papers inside are really pretty. It's not stark white, it's almost like a vintage white, so I love that, and I love the fact that it's craft card as well for the covers. So that is how I constructed it. Now onto what I put on. So I've got a wraparound closure, and that basically is going to keep it shut, and I put inside it, or on the inside of the band here, I've got 2 of these poppers, and I've put 2 on because if I want to fill it up, obviously it's going to get a bit chunky, so I've made myself another inch space, so this can close like this, but it's still covered with the lace on the overhang, so that gives me plenty of room to just expand. I'll show you what I've done with the wrap in a sec. I want to show you the base of the actual notebook. So you can see here I've layered quite a lot of these beautiful vintage and antique laces, and I have got them sitting right here. So I've collected these over the years, and these are all English laces, and they're just beautiful. This is one of my most favourite delicate laces ever, and I've got this piece left, and I've got about a few yards rolled up in my little hoard vault, and then this one as well, which is really delicate and very beautiful. So this is like my stash that I've gone to create this Traveler's Notebook, and I've also added bits and pieces from here, this one as well, which you're going to see on the front cover. Isn't that just beautiful? It's an embroidered vintage lace. So I went to this to create the whole of the base. You can see I've actually hand stitched the edge because my machine broke a few months back. But after I did the edging, I was actually sat in the living room sewing this by hand, and it was quite hard because there's quite a few layers there. And then my darling husband went and bought me this. This is so adorable. He just got me this. It's like a really pale pink, like a vintage pink sewing machine, and this was from Aldi, and it was only £40, and it's a midi size, so it's really nice for my craft projects. So thank you to him for getting me that. So that's how I finished off the rest of the project. So you can see here how I've layered all the laces. I've not used any hot glue on this. It's all fabric glue and sewing, hand sewing and machine sewing. And this piece here is a section of a collar piece. I just needed something at the bottom which was a bit more, it wasn't so natural, that natural colour there, it was a bit more white, so I needed that. And then on the back you can see what I've done. I've just put that down, and on the edge of that fabric it was quite bright. This isn't vintage, this is just some curtain fabric. I have distressed it with some ink to give it a bit more of that distressed look. And on the side here I've got two of these, and these are them arty cakes that were people were going crazy for a couple of years back. So I've got two of these, one I've used here and one I've saved for a mini album. So I had either this to put on, or I altered this piece of arty cake, and I've used some paper that I've used inside on the top of that, and I've glossy accented it. So it was either that or that, and they both look nice, but I wanted a bit more movement, but I can change it whenever I want. So on to this piece here. So this is my closure. I've taken some vintage chair back cover and I've cut it in a long strip, and then I decided to close it from like a wraparound. So on this I've taken some of that the vintage and antique laces, the scraps of it, and I decided to sew it all on. So there's a few different pieces, as you can see, and it's all sewn on. These are hand sewn on, and then a few more pieces, a few layers, and I've left it quite raggedy looking with, you know, threads hanging out. I think it just adds to the effect. And then here I have some vintage buttons which I've sewn as well as glued just to reinforce it, and then a bit of hand sewing here with some scrap laces just to cover the second popper. So once that goes around, just quickly show you, it does close really beautifully. And you know, I can play around with it and see how I want it, but basically it looks like this once it's closed. So on the inside now the whole inspiration for this Traveler's Notebook actually came from this paper pad. So when I got this, I absolutely fell in love with it. So I decided to use these colours, and obviously you can see there's quite a lot of lacy look to this, which that's the reason I wanted to make it into a lace Traveler's Notebook. And it came out really beautiful, and you can see I've cut into it, I've used lots of pieces, and this is, I've got one full pad left, but this is the Stamperia Old Lace Scrapbooking paper collection. And there is a video on my channel showing this paper pad in more detail. So this is what I used, and it's really nice and bright. Even though it's so cold today, it's absolutely freezing, but it's nice and sunny, and it is my day off. So I've got my Indian tea here, which I brewed myself, and it is so yummy because I love a hot tea and I love a strong tea. So that is the front and back, and on the inside, as you open it, this is how it looks. So on the inside cover here, you've got a pocket, So the pocket is made of some vintage lace again, and I've used 2 different ones here to create this side pocket. And inside that side pocket I have a few of the pieces from the paper collection, and these are great for just journaling on, writing on, making notes on. So these sit inside here like that. And then these are my 3 notebooks. So it looks quite lacy on the side here because what I've done, I'll show you in a sec actually. Before I go into the middle, I'll just show you I've covered the notebooks in the designer paper, so the front and back of each one is covered. So you can see the elastic is just here, and I've used, if you're looking for it in the UK, just hat elastic, you'll get the right thickness. So I've got 3 elastics holding 3 of the books. The middle one is the most chunkiest one because I've got something else in there. So the first book here, I've just covered it and I've added a large paper clip in there, and these are oversized paper clips that I've got in my planner. So I've just took some out and put them in here, and then I've not done anything to the pages because I just want to you know, write or stamp on them as I go along. And then on the in the middle of each of the books I've added some lace, and these are some more of the vintage, and this one's an antique lace. So I thought, if I have this on the go or in my bag or wherever, and I wanted to do something, I can just snip into it, cut a piece off and use it, say, on a page if I'm writing something, and I can just put a bit of lace on just to fill it up. So I thought that was like a nice lace index, if you like. So I've got in each middle of each of the books rather some lace. So that's the front and that's the back of that one. Then the front of this one, I love this. I had to have that in there somewhere. So I've staggered the paper clips, and each paper clip has some lace attached to it, and these are all vintage laces. So on this one I've added this piece here from the paper, and then the back of it is this beautiful paper here. The paper clip has some beige lace. The first one had white lace, as you can see, and then in the middle of this one I have got the lace, and I've used my favorite antique lace that I've got, and I've also added a folder, so you can see the elastic a bit clearer there. So in this folder, really easy to create these. I've got some white paper, so you can see I've just created like a pocket on each side of this folder, and on each side I've just made these little cards from the paper collection as well, and they've got beautiful detail. They look very lacy and 3D, so I've put one on each side of those, and that's a really lovely corset on the back of that one. So, you know, if I want to add receipts or put little things in, I can do that. And that's the back of that cover, back of the folder rather, and then this is the other half of the lace, and then more of the paper. So the last book, or the last insert, is this with the white lace, and then another one of the paper clips, and I've not done anything to that on the pages again. And then in the middle I've added some more of that antique lace here, and then that's the back of that book. And then I've added another pocket in the back, and this time I've put some tags in. So these are all just cutouts from the paper, and then this one, and these are all double-sided, which is quite pretty. And I can just take these along, and I can just paper clip them on or staple them on as I go along, which is lovely. So that is that. And there's the beautiful lace that I've used for the pocket here. And there's my sewing. This is all hand sewn. So proud of it. I really am utterly thrilled with how this has come out. And I'm just going to wrap it around again, and I'm going to close it. And you can see how beautiful that looks. So that is my beautiful antique stroke vintage lace travelers notebook. and it is A6 in size, and it was so much fun to create. And I did spend all week like an hour here, an hour there, and I had a morning off to finish this off, and today's my day off, so I'm going to do a bit more crafting. Need to finish wrapping some Christmas presents. I'm so happy it's the 1st of December, yay! We all love December. I absolutely love December, and it's my birthday month as well, so that's great. And obviously Christmas, and just trying to hide some of the presents in my craft room for the boys, because I've got them a PlayStation 4, and I don't think they're going to watch my craft video, but if they do, so I've got them that, and I just need to hide it somewhere a bit better, because my little one, he's a little sneaky monkey, and I know he's going to start looking, so I need to wrap it and then they won't know what it is. So hope you're all having a wonderful start to December, and I hope I inspired you with this beautiful traveler's notebook. I'll just give you another quick overview before I go. I just love it, and even though this isn't, you know, vintage or antique in any way, it just looked really nice with all of this. So you know, I wasn't complaining. I mean, it's beautiful. If I did have like a vintage or an antique dangle this big, it'd probably cost me a bomb, but it would probably look really nice as well. But I'm just going to make do with this right now. And then there's the back. So I'm so happy. This is how it looks from the side, and obviously all this lace on the inside isn't sewn on, but it just gives it this beautiful lacy look on the side. And it's just by putting in some lace pieces and the elastic itself in the center of each book, and it just fills the space up a bit more as well. So that's it for now. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.